more light. It's a glorious day in Phoenix, Arizona, everybody. Yeah, I know it's the morning. Very rarely do I get on in the morning, but got some time today because I'm going on a raft trip this afternoon for work. Anyway, first off, how's everyone doing? I hope your Tuesday is going well. Day after tax day. In America, if you're somewhere else, I don't know when your tax day or if you have tax day. But it's the day. My boy Soper, he's probably feeling great today because accountant and tax days. Now he just has to deal with people that are late and corporate stuff. So less people like us as the normal people. I hope you all got your taxes in on time if you have any taxes to do. Thing number 2, bummer. Oh look, it was a puppy. Bummer. I feel real bad about the whole Notre Dame thing. That's really sad that that a gorgeous historic building is burned, and that's upsetting. Hopefully it wasn't any hopefully there wasn't any foul play or anything. It was just an accident. So yeah, that's sad. I had a laugh last night because the President Macron, I think that's the right name, might be saying it wrong, my bad if I am, called it a national emergency. I'm like, bro, it's really sad that this old building died and but no humans died, like as far as I've heard. Now there was an injured firefighter. Hopefully he or she is okay. But it's sad. It's really upsetting, but it's a thing, and you can rebuild things. Rebuild it, make it better, make it the same, make it better, make it. I don't know. I mean, it's up to you, or up to the church, I would imagine. So that but I wouldn't call it an emergency. It's just that's an extreme word. I feel like you're using, but hey, it might be an emergency to you. So yeah, still feel bad though. That's really sad, and I'm sure a lot of Catholics and Christians in general right now are probably mourning the loss of a lot of history and a lot of positives that are going to be gone. So it's sad that when something like that happens to the church, all you're losing is the positives because the negative stuff that's still going on in the church. Hey, I love you as an individual. As individuals, but there's a lot of shenanigans with the priests and doing bad things to people sometimes. I'm just saying it's in our cultural gestalt. So feel bad about the building, but maybe you guys should focus on. No, that's not. That's negative. That's negative. Let's be positive. Anyway, so speaking of positivity, legislating morality. I know, right? Weird turn of. I do transitions about as well as Steve Ranella does. So I mean, just saying, just calling you out. Yeah. So a big, me. I'm not a big fan of ideologues, and one of the problems that ideologues have, and it doesn't matter what ideologue you are. Generally speaking, it comes down to their ways the best, right? They want everyone to think. The vegan wants everyone to be vegan because they think the vegan is the best way. The carnivore diet people want everyone to be carnivores because they think that's the best. The evangelical, the Christian wants everyone to be a Christian because the Muslim thinks this way and the Jew thinks this way, and it's all kind of everyone, especially when you're an ideologue, they kind of have their point and their version of reality, and they want you to believe that way, which I can get, especially if you think you're right. I think I'm right. I think that I have some pretty good ideas. Now, I'm not saying I'm unwilling to change ideas and learn new things, but I think I'm right. So in the same way, they think they're right. So they want to bring people to their point of view, which is great. But we currently have a society that, and I mean, I don't think it's current. I think it's always kind of existed like this. But we really like to legislate morality against one another. And it just doesn't work. If it's not something that is specifically harmful to another, like it's going to hurt another human, like that's where our laws generally work well. Like when you say, hey, don't hurt this other person because that's not cool, and then we have to deal with the repercussions of that injury and that hurt. So don't hurt other people. And that's kind of like the basis of most of like the laws that we all agree on. Like, hey, no raping, no murder, no aggravated assaults, no like that kind of stuff. And like everyone agrees on those. And then you start getting into the things like, well, I think that marijuana should be illegal. And you're like, bro, really? Okay, so why? Why should it be illegal? Because it's hurting someone else. You have to make the claim is it's going to hurt someone else. Like, if I can do it myself and it's not going to hurt anyone but me, which I don't really want to, we could get into an argument about self-harm, but that's a different topic. Like, if it's not affecting the world outside of my own personal being, then I don't understand why we feel the need to tell somebody that they have to use certain pronouns, or which that one you might have a harm issue if you're going to say words hurt. We can also talk about that, but like you can't tell. We found out with we found out when we took out alcohol, when we made it illegal and it was a crime, we found out that, hey, man, you can't tell human adults what they can and can't do very well. Like, what happens is black markets pop up and then crime gets a bit worse. And, like, you just drive issues underground. The same thing was back in the day. Abortions were illegal and women were still getting abortions. They were just getting it in places where it was unsanitary, not all the time, unsafe, and, like, dangerous. If it's, again, and that's another like moral gray area. I get some people are going to say you can't do that because that is harm, which we could. I'm just using it as a for instance. Some people are going to pick up on it. Some people aren't. Remember that. If it doesn't apply, let it fly, man. I'm just talking to each one of you individually, trying to anyway. So it's just you're never gonna legislate morality, and here's how I know. I was a strong, confident Christian before going to Liberty. Remember that. Before going to Liberty. I really loved Jesus and everything, and I was like gung-ho. I was going to be a youth pastor. Like, that's what I was going to do. And the legislation, and it wasn't just that. What my mom thinks it is, but I'm pretty sure I would have come to some of the same conclusions that I've already come to regarding the more specific issues that I have with the religion in general. But the thing that pushed it over the edge was everyone thought they could tell me the correct way to like, no, you can't think that way about the Bible, or you have to think this way. And I'm like, really? And I tried really hard. And I mean, at one point in time, I was on, it was before college, but I mean, I even subscribed to the young earth creationist model. I did it in a philosophical manner. I was like, well, God just made it look that way, which is just a cop-out. And that also doesn't apply to what I think the Christian God would want to do. Like, why would he lie? That's a lie. If you telling me that the Christian God meant to test your faith, no. So when I don't tell you the entire truth, that's a test of your faith. I want you to remember that. Like, I don't think it's an attainable position. And they wanted to legislate how I thought. They said, hey, this is bad. And I'm like, I don't think that this is bad. I don't think me wanting to hug my girlfriend or kiss my girlfriend is bad, bro. Like, I don't even think me wanting to be physical, like have a physical relation at the time with my girlfriend was bad. Like, why? Because like a book says it at one point in time, and the book also says a lot of other things, and you don't apply half of them. It was but they wanted to choose. They had their points. They had their sticky points. They had their knowledge that was going to prove their point. Just like the vegans have their knowledge that's going to prove their point, and the anti-vaxxers think they have their knowledge that I'm not going to give you any slack. Sorry, and the flat earthers think they have their knowledge to prove it. The problem is, like, you're using not good data, and then you're trying to make me think a certain way using your data. And instead of trying to make me think a certain way about using your data, if your data is that good, if your data is so revolutionary, if you're a good Christian, if you think Christianity is the way to go, if you should be able to be a good Christian, that's not to say you don't evangelize, because that's part of being a good Christian. But it shouldn't require you to make a law to enforce your religion. Just like if you're a good Muslim, it shouldn't require you to enforce Sharia law on everybody to prove that Islam is the correct way to go. Just like you shouldn't force someone to use pronouns in order because you think that is the correct way to be. You just need to be better. Like, that's how you change people's minds. You don't change people's minds by forcing them, because all that's going to do is cause them to rebel against it. It's something. There are some humans that'll go along with it. There are people like they'll find some kind of positive in it and they'll jump on board. But most people, it's just you're just going to push them away. You're going to make them think, well, why are you saying this? Well, I'm going to figure out a different way to go about it. And it's just, which hopefully shouldn't be necessarily a bad thing. Like, that should be a good thing too. But yeah, like, you can't legislate morality. Remember that. Like, if you're making a moral argument against something, then as to be legislated, I'm going to say that it's probably not going to work out well. And the times that it does, quote, it has, well, they've tried, it's a disaster, and people end up rebelling and fighting against it. So instead of, I've said what's bad, instead of legislating your morality, trying to enforce your morality, what did I say we should do? You should live your morality out. You should live your positive aspects out. Now, again, that's for some people that will mean talking about things, but remember that you're supposed to be communicating your ideas, not telling people how to believe, which I know I can be charged with that as well. And by all means, like, if you want to get upset at me for some stuff, you can get upset at me for some stuff. But that didn't make it any better at all. Just kind of get with it. Just, again, you know me, I want you to focus on you. I want you to worry about you first, and then we'll worry about then we'll worry about our friends next, and the people that would like us to worry about them. And then hopefully once all those people are taken care of, and everyone else will see that we are just worried about people making them better, that they'll just jump on board. I hope you guys have a good week. Be good out there. Be smart. And make sure you're loving everyone else around you as best possible way you can. Peace out.